Hello, welcome to PeopleSoft channel. My name is Siva Koya, and today I'm going to cover one of the topics requested by our community member Rohit Singh, that is row traversing. I remember it used to be one of the popular and favorite interview question. Even I was asked the same question during my interview with the Oracle Bangalore. Here I am today to simplify the logic for you. All right, without any delay, let's get started.
Welcome back everybody. Take a close look at this apartment complex. Gorgeous, isn't it? Let's leverage this apartment complex picture to understand the road traversing concepts. Very simple apartment complex. It has level 0. Whenever I say level 0, you can think ground floor or a lobby, and it has level 1, level 2 and level 3. And just trying to correlate with our PeopleSoft page, as you know, the maximum levels allowed in a PeopleSoft page is 3, just like this apartment complex. There is something eccentric about this construction. If you want to go from level 1 apartment to level 2 apartment, you need to take a staircase within level 1 apartment to go to level 2. Likewise, if you want to go to the apartment in the level 3, you need to take a staircase from level 2 to level 3. You can think this duplex kind of construction, and this block is an independent block from this block. Now let me introduce you a character called Mike. Mike is a census taker in Bahamas.
Every day he travels to a location and takes census count in each apartment complex. And today he is going to take census count from the apartment complex I showed you just now.
The cool thing is he is tracking the census with the help of our PeopleSoft page. Let me show you the PeopleSoft page. This is the PeopleSoft page that was created for this purpose. All he is going to do is he is going to enter a specific location. Here he is going to enter the apartment name, the floor information and the apartment ID, and the actual census count goes here. If you notice closely, there are some things which are common between our apartment complex and our PeopleSoft page. It has all the 3 levels, just like our apartment complex. It has level 0, level 1, level 2 and level 3. You know, the maximum levels allowed in a PeopleSoft page are 0 to 3, which means 4 levels.
Mike is not very happy with this page design because he needs to enter all the information manually. That includes even the total apartment resident count. Let's fix this and make him happy. If you observe this page closely, the total census count of the family exists at level 3 of the page, and we need to populate the total resident count at level 1 of the page, which means when we are at level 1, we are going to traverse all the way from level 0 to level 3 and sum up the total census count of the family and display at level 1 of the page. I hope it makes sense to you. We will get there, but before that, let's go behind the scenes and see the technical design of this PeopleSoft page, and also we will go through some foundational concepts of PeopleSoft page design. Let me quickly open App Designer. Let's go through some basics here. PeopleSoft page is made up of different levels, and except level 0, each level is determined by either scroll area or a grid. Like I mentioned before, PeopleSoft page can have 4 levels. That includes level 0, 1, 2 and 3. We create levels in PeopleSoft page to maintain one-to-many relationship, just like in our example. As you can see, each location will have multiple apartment complexes, and each apartment complex will have multiple floors, and each floor will have multiple apartments. The next question is, how do we store this information? That's when primary record will come into picture. For each level, there is a primary record which stores the related information. When I say primary record, the record type should be of type SQL table, and you can have only one primary record for each level. Let's identify the primary record for our PeopleSoft page. In order to do that, we need to navigate to the Page Order tab, pick the very first field under the scroll area, double click on it, and you can see the primary record for this level. Likewise, you can do the same thing for other levels and identify the primary record. Just a second ago, I mentioned we create levels in PeopleSoft page to maintain one-to-many relationship. And how do we do that? That is through primary records. The primary record should have the same keys as the previous level plus an additional key to uniquely identify the data in that specific level. Let's take our example. I'm opening the primary record of level 0 of our page. As you can see, you'll notice there is only one key in this record and the key is location. In order to have level 1, the primary record of level 1 should have the same key as level 0, which means location plus an additional key. That's what I did here. I added an additional key along with location, in my case it's apartment name, to track the information in that subsection. Likewise, I did for other levels too. Remember that the keys should be in the same order as in the previous level. Let me quickly show you level 2 record. Sorry guys, I know we are going through a lot of dry stuff here, but hang on with me for a few more seconds because these concepts are very foundational to do row traversing. Let's go through one last concept, then we will jump into coding. So far I discussed how do we design a PeopleSoft page. There is also the other side of the coin. How do we access the data that user enters on the PeopleSoft page? If you look in that perspective, PeopleSoft page is comprised of row sets. And what do row set contain? It contains rows, and the data can be accessed from the row by accessing the underlying record on the field. In short, if you're thinking PeopleSoft page in data perspective, each level of a PeopleSoft page is a row set. Immediately, the next question that comes to my mind is level 0 a row set? Because you see only one row on a PeopleSoft page for level 0. To understand this, let's take help of our previous example. Imagine you are holding level 0 of the building on your hands. What are you holding? You are holding the entire building structure. Means you are holding level 0, level 1, level 2 and level 3. Likewise, if we are accessing level 0, you are accessing the entire page structure that includes all the levels. Long story short, level 0 is a row set. That's it. Now let me stop talking. Let's write some code. Switching to App Designer. This is our census page, and next we are going to populate the total apartment resident count using row traversing. I'm opening record PeopleCode for this field. Let me change to row init PeopleCode.
Let's disable the total count at the row init level so that user wouldn't mess with our online logic by updating it manually. So I'm going to disable it. The way I refer the record field is by using the caret symbol dot enabled equal to false. If we check now, the field is disabled and user cannot enter it manually. Now it's time to write our row traversing logic. Let me flip to App Designer to write the row traversing logic.
The very first challenge is to figure out the event to write the logic.
I believe save prechange would be the best fit because that is the last event that gets triggered within component buffer, and that gets triggered when user clicks on save button. So let's go ahead and write our row traversing logic in save prechange event. I'm navigating to the save prechange event. It makes sense, right? Because user entered all information. He clicked on the save button means he finalized all the changes, and that's when total should be populated.
The very first step is declaration of variables. I did that ahead of time so that I don't want to waste your time by seeing me typing. Let me paste the variable declaration. Like I said before, PeopleSoft page data is comprised of row set and rows. Hence I declared row set for each level, and I also declared row for each level. Before I start coding, I want to say something that you may keep on back of your mind to correlate row set traversing with a real life scenario. Here is the scenario I am talking about. Imagine Mike. Pardon my drawing. This is Mike. He wants to navigate from level 0 to level 3 of this building. So mind you, the steps are hidden right here. From level 0 to level 1, he used the staircase to go to the level 1 here. And imagine there are some steps right in front of each apartment. And in order to navigate from level 1 to level 2, he need to take the staircase inside level 1. Likewise from level 2 to level 3. Just keep that back of your mind. Since we are doing for the first time, let's make some assumptions. Let's assume there is only one apartment in each floor, and we are only considering this section of the building. Likewise, let's assume there is only one row in each level on this PeopleSoft page. We are taking baby steps here. The very first thing Mike would do is he would access level 0, right? That's what we are going to do in our PeopleSoft. We are going to access level 0. The way we do it is we use a function called getLevel0 in PeopleSoft. Like I mentioned before, getLevel0 will contain the entire page structure. What would Mike do next? He would take steps to level 1. So whenever I say steps, you can think in PeopleSoft as a row. Always assume there are steps in front of each apartment, and there are steps to move from level 1 to level 2, likewise level 2 to level 3. How many row of steps we have to climb from level 0 to level 1? We have one row. Just like our PeopleSoft page, we have only one row in level 0. Let's access that row. The way we access row in PeopleSoft is getRow function. So I already declared level 0 row here. So we are navigating from level 0 row set to level 0 row. After climbing row of steps from level 0 to level 1, Mike have access to now level 1. Like we said, each level is a row set. Now we are going to access level 1 row set from level 0 row. So now let's access level 1 row set from level 0 row. Like we discussed, each level is a row set. Now in order to gain access to that specific row set, we need to provide the get row set, and we need to provide the scroll record, the primary record for each level. So in order to grab the primary record for each level, you already know that. You navigate to order tab, click on the first field under that level, and this is the primary record for that specific level. So let me close that and paste here. So now we got access to level 1 row set. Can we have multiple level 1s? Of course, yes. That is the reason we need to uniquely identify the primary record for that level. How do we relate that in our example? Assume Mike, instead of climbing to this building, he might have access to a different building from the same level 0, and this might be a parking lot. This might have a different building structure, and he is using the same level 0 but with a different structure. Let's don't get into complex scenarios right now. Let's take the baby steps and continue our journey. So let's go back to our PeopleCode logic. Here we are at level 1. Even Mike is at level 1. Remember, our goal is to go to level 3. Like I said, there are steps in front of each apartment. Whenever I say steps, it's a row in PeopleSoft. First, he need to take that steps and go inside the apartment at level 1. After stepping inside the apartment, again he need to take a different set of steps to go from level 1 to level 2. Let's do the same thing using PeopleCode. Let's access level 1 row from level 1 row set. You know the function, right? GetRow is GetRow function. For this demonstration, we assume there is only one row here. Now let's access the level 2 row set by following the same process. I'm going to access level 2 row set from level 1 row. You know the function getRowSet. And we are going to use the primary record level 2. I will do the same thing. I will navigate to the page order tab, click on the first field under that level, copy the primary record and paste it here. Just like Mike, I am going to follow the same steps and access the level 3 row set. Now we have access to level 3 row set. Here he is, Mike is in the 3rd floor. All he need to do is he need to climb the steps to get inside the apartment in the level 3 and ask for the family count. So we are going to do the same thing in PeopleSoft. Now we are accessing the level 3 row. You know the drill. In our demo, we are assuming there is only one apartment. And now Mike stepped inside the apartment. Now let's grab the family count. So before that, let me define a variable. And we are going to populate the family count here. Like I said, from row we get access to the record and the field. You know how we access record, right? Get record, record dot, and we need to use this record. And now we are accessing the field, and the field is count1. dot value, and we are going to populate this family count in our record field value. Since we are not looping, there will be always one value here. Let's see how it works in the front end. Now it's time to give a test. Let's go back to our PeopleSoft page. So this is our PeopleSoft page, and I entered all the information. And when I try to click save button, it should update the resident count. As you can see, there is only one row in each row set. Let me click save. Awesome, now it populated number 5. This is what happens if there is only one row in each row set. Let's imagine Mike going to each and every apartment in every floor. So you need to imagine Mike stepping into each apartment in level 1, level 2 and level 3. So we are going to extrapolate the same logic by applying counter in each level. At the risk of repetition, I have already coded the logic. I use the same fundamentals, but I used counters to loop through row in each row set. Let me show you the updated code. Here we go. This is the updated logic. All I did was, instead of going through only one row, we are going to traverse each row in the row set. So that is the reason I used the counters here. I'm looping through each row in the row set. Like I said, each level is a row set. In the level 1, I am looping through all the rows in that specific row set. And likewise, I added counters to level 2 and level 3. That's all I did. Since we need to calculate the resident count for each apartment complex, that is the reason I am comparing for each apartment complex, which means for each row in the apartment complex row set, I am comparing is it with the current row. Then only I am adding the family count. And finally, I am populating the apartment resident count. Before I wrap up this episode, let's run one final test case. As you can see here, I have filled census details for 2 apartment complexes. Initially, the total apartment resident count is not populated. Now I will click on save button. As you can see, now the total apartment resident count is populated. That's about it, guys. Now you know how to traverse from level 0 to level 3, which means you can traverse from level 0 to any level. That's pretty much about it for today, guys. For more interesting content, don't forget to visit my channel. I look forward for your feedback. Based on it, I refine myself and try to come up with the content that adds value to your skill set. Through this video, if you learn at least 1 or 2 new points, I feel all my effort is well worth it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to follow my videos. Let's stay in touch. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, signing off, Siva Koya, your PeopleSoft partner.